Hi, I'm Dawn Damari, and you're listening to and watching another episode of A Teaspoon of Healing. Today, I have a guest with me, Jim Gelcer. Jim is a jazz drummer, singer, musician, composer, and producer. Hi, Jim.
Hello. Hello, Don. Nice to be with you.
Nice to have you here. And before we started recording, you had mentioned that you are in Canada right now. You are in Canada, you live in
Mm.
Canada, and you are right now on the Great Lakes.
Yes, I am.
That's wonderful. That's somewhere
Happy to
I've
be
never been. Somewhere I've never been. So sounds really wonderful. You had showed me the view that you had. It's absolutely stunning. So I
Thank you.
envy you right now for your view. So before we talk a little bit, do you mind sharing a brief introduction to your background and when you started playing music?
Sure. Yeah. So let's see. I really started playing, I guess, drums when I got my first drum set when I was 13 and started playing. And I started playing professionally maybe when I was 16 or 17. Um, and I've also always played piano, just more by ear. I've taken some lessons, but it's more of an ear thing for me. Um, I studied jazz arranging and composition in at Eastman School of Music in Rochester, New York. When I was 18, I went down there for that, and then I got into yoga and got exposed to music for yoga or kirtan um, during my yoga teacher training, and then I started to release albums, kirtan albums. So I have a few of those out right now, as well as my jazz. Yeah, and I'm also a film composer. I write music for film and television, and I'm pretty active with that. Also, uh, I'm a teacher and mentor to young composers and songwriters. So I have my hands in a lot of different things in music, and I kind of like it. Every day is different.
It sounds like a very, very interesting background and very varied. So you had mentioned something in there, and I know you had mentioned kirtan.
Mm-hmm.
And from reading your bio, it looks like you blend kirtan with R&B, jazz, and rock, which is really cool. We can talk about that. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about kirtan for
Sure.
those people who are not familiar with it. It's from India, but yeah, what is kirtan? What's the style of music, and how did you get into
Well,
that?
okay. So kirtan is essentially call and response chanting. It's usually done in Sanskrit, although you can um, you can do it in other languages. I've heard of Hebrew kirtan. It's usually ancient languages that have a certain power to them. So Sanskrit words are very powerful. Hebrew is also an ancient language that has a lot of power in the words. Um, and the idea is, well, singing on its own, just singing by itself is like a very powerful healing force. But when you sing in a group, that amplifies that force a lot. So there have been studies that show that people who sing in choirs have better qualities of life than people who don't, because just that group singing, hearing the voices all around you and being part of that, it's a real sense of community. And that's the same type of thing that kirtan does. So when you're singing kirtan, you're singing in a group. There's usually a kirtan leader who chants a line or sings a line, and then the group sings it back. And when you get this feeling that it creates really, really positive vibrations in the body. And I don't know, the first time I ever experienced kirtan, and just the feeling of singing for like 45 minutes or an hour, I just felt the molecules in my body were just vibrating at a higher level. And so I got into it when I was doing my yoga teacher training, and it was part of the training is learning about kirtan and practicing kirtan. So yeah.
Oh, really cool. I like that. And so a lot of it, like you said, is it's based on ancient language. It originally was Sanskrit, but also Hebrew. So really old languages that hold a lot of meaning, and also group. So group chanting. And oh, that's really, really cool. And so yoga teacher training. So you learn about this while you are training to be a yoga teacher. And so I do know some people who train to be yoga teachers, and I should ask them about that. I enjoy yoga, but I'm not a yoga teacher. I'll briefly ask about yoga and then come back to music. So you also teach yoga on the meditation app Insight Timer. And what do you
That's right.
enjoy about being a yoga teacher?
Well, um, I I love yoga, and I feel like it's changed my life. And so I want to share that passion with others. And so yes, I have this daily yoga class now. It's just a 30-minute gentle and restorative class. It's called Jim's Yoga Cafe, and it's on Insight Timer, as you said. And I just wanted to do something really that I could do with people on a daily basis. And I think, most people don't have time to do an hour and a half or even an hour practice every day. So I
Mhm.
created this 30-minute class, and it's just gentle and restorative. And we talk a little bit. I share a spiritual quote every day. And it's also set to music. So we have a little musical background. The other thing I do for my students is if it's their birthday and they're practicing with me, then I will sing something live for them. After final shavasana, I'll do a little mini concert and play something for them. So they really like that. And I have students from all over the world, Australia, Germany, the UK, Brazil, all over the US and Canada, and so yeah, Italy. So yeah, it's been good for me because it's also gets me doing my own practice every day. And now I can't imagine starting a day without doing this class and doing the practice.
That's really cool. And it sounds like, and you've been doing that for a while, correct?
Uh, 2.5 years every day, and it,
Every
and
day.
no matter where I am in the world. So I try to keep it going if I'm traveling, and so and I find that my students they really rely on it, and
Mhm.
they really miss it when I'm not there.
I love that. So wherever you are in the world, so if you're traveling, you're doing that every day. And that's wonderful. That's wonderful. The people that your students must really love that. They know it's like you're a rock in their life, that they know that you can be there, and that they'll have that gentle class with you.
Mhm.
And yeah, and it looks like you've also played at yoga studios and at Bhakti Fest. So how was it playing at Bhakti Fest?
Yeah, I played at Bhakti Fest a couple of years in a row, and it was really cool. And I met some amazing people. I got to know some of the LA yoga people, and that's actually where I met Vito, who I ended up
Okay.
collaborating with. And also, I met uh, Ben Leinbach, who produced my second album, Bhakti Groove Machine. Um, and So yeah, I met a lot of people that way, and it was a great experience to play for those people. And then there was a yoga festival up here, actually close to where I am right now on Georgian Bay, um, called Shri Fest, which was a yoga and music and art festival. And I was the music director of that festival for 5 years, until the festival ended. And that was an incredible experience, bringing people up here to play. I brought some people up from the States to play, and a lot of the Toronto yoga and music community came up to play with me as well. And so I love playing at festivals, and I've also done some tours of mostly, actually, no, I was going to say mostly northern the U.S. and Canada, but also I did do a tour down in Arizona and California, playing in yoga studios. So I've done quite a bit of that as well.
Well, that's really cool.
Mhm.
It sounds like a lot of fun. All these festivals sound really fun.
Yeah.
And you released also a kirtan album.
Well, the first one which is called Bhagavan, was more traditional Shivananda chants. Shivananda is where I did my teacher training, but it still definitely is infused with jazzy elements,
Mhm.
even though it's more traditional. The second one that I did, Bhakti Groove Machine, is definitely more funky and groovy. And then my third one was called Cape Town to Kolkata, and that one I wouldn't call it pure kirtan, because it's more kind of sing a couple of lines and then have some instrumental. So there's more space between the vocals. And
Mhm.
so it's kind of a hybrid of vocal and instrumental, but it's also, I really love it. That one has a mixture of jazz, R&B, and also African, because I'm originally from Africa. I was born
Oh,
in
cool.
Cape Town.
Oh,
So
cool.
I wanted to include some of that. And also my mother is Israeli, so I have some Middle Eastern
Mhm.
roots as well. So I would say that Cape Town to Kolkata is like the hybrid of all my musical influences. And so that one is really near and dear to my heart.
Oh, that sounds really cool. Would you like our listeners to hear one of the pieces from one of those albums or one of the songs?
It's sort of hard to choose which one, but let's see. Why don't we go with Ganesha Muntra from Cape Town to Kolkata? And this one is, the whole album is co-produced by myself and a wonderful musician named Matt Psonic, who was based in LA, and that's where I met him at Bhakti Fest, and then he moved back to his hometown of Buffalo, New York. And so that was a little bit easier for me to get to when we were recording the album, because I'm in Toronto, just outside of Buffalo. So we drove back to his home studio. And he's an incredible guitar player, all stringed instruments, really. And so he played all the guitars. I played the keyboards, the drums, percussion. Then we had some special guests. So on this track, the Ganesha Mantra track, we had a wonderful musician named Benji Wertheimer, who is one half of the duo Shantala, which is a very famous kirtan duo based in Portland, Oregon. Wonderful music, released many albums. So Benji played Esraj, which is an Indian stringed instrument, a bowed stringed instrument, which he plays very beautifully. And he also plays tabla and is a great singer. But on this track, he plays Esraj. And so check it out. I
Yeah.
hope you like it.
Yeah, here it is. So Ganesha Muntra. Let's check it out.
Jai Ganesha, Pahimam, Shri Ganesha, Rakshamam. Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam 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 Ganapataye Namaha.
That was beautiful. That was really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. It was really beautiful. I'm going to check out some of the other tracks and some of those other albums. I really find it very beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for
My
sharing that.
pleasure. Yeah.
You know, music in general. I know I asked Vito a little bit of this too, and
Mhm.
not to put you on the spot or anything, but why do you
Nope.
think people resonate with music in a spiritual way? Or, and I don't like to use the word heal because it's maybe a little trite, but why do certain songs or tracks or sounds, why do they resonate with us so much or help us get us through certain things?
I think that music has a unique ability to convey emotion.
Mhm.
And so I think, it goes deep into our inner beings and brings out emotion, and the emotions can be different, depending on the piece of music that you play or that you're listening to. It can, like you said, resonate differently. And so I think that's one of the big powers of music. But I think delving deeper into it,
Mhm.
um, well, the other thing is, obviously we are all a bunch of molecules, right? That's what we are.
Yes.
And the
Yes.
molecules are vibrating in our
Mhm.
bodies. So I think that, certain instruments, certain timbres, certain overtones, certain frequencies maybe have an impact on the vibrations. They vibrate the molecules differently in our bodies. And maybe that's what, if you wanted to get into the physics of it, maybe that's what's
Mhm.
happening. But there are certain instruments like a violin or a handpan or something, that have all these this bouquets of overtones. Or even a
Mhm.
piano. A piano has so many different overtones when you play a note on the piano, and it's just powerful, like those vibrations. It's a mystery too. I mean, I don't want to. I don't think we can explain it. I don't think I can explain it. I don't think
Yeah.
anyone can explain it. And I think the mystery of it is part of the beauty of it too.
I really like that, and I agree. It is a mystery. I don't think anyone can explain it. I'll ask people this, or I think about it myself a lot. It's definitely true, but why? I don't think anyone knows. I don't
Yeah,
think anyone knows, but it
but we
definitely
know
is
that
true.
it works. What we know
Yes,
that, right?
and one particular track or piece of music, it might really resonate with one person, while somebody else, they might, okay, they still might think it's good, but it may not resonate with them.
Yeah,
And
exactly. Yeah. Well, that's
also,
that's
yeah,
that's true about all art, right?
it's true. Yes, it
All
is true.
not just music, but art,
Hmm.
film. I just before I was on a call. I'm on a film, a music awards jury for film. So we were just going over with my fellow jurors all the films, and it was interesting to see. And we're listening specifically to the music. It was interesting to see how we were in sync with a few things, but there were also differences. Like some people thought, hey, they really liked this film score, and other people didn't like it. And so, like you said, music is subjective
Hmm.
and art is subjective, and I would never ever try to criticize anyone for
Hmm.
liking something, even if I don't like it. It's, hey, you like it? That's wonderful. If it works for you, that's fantastic.
Absolutely. I really like that. And it's true. It's very subjective, like all art, it's subjective. And sometimes also, art, and as well as specifically music. Maybe this is just more for me, but there's, sometimes certain songs will just bring back memories. And sometimes it could be a great memory. So if you're having kind of a bad day and you hear a specific song, that maybe it reminds you of a summer you had when you were younger that was really, really fun, it can just instantly put you in a better mood. Or it could be the opposite. It can sometimes, some songs might remind people of a breakup, something like this, and might not put you in a bad mood, but it can make you a little bit sentimental.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, and that's why, I mean, there's a lot of demand right now for cover bands of older bands, and that's because the music that we listened to growing up is kind of imprinted on us, and it's imprinted with memories. And so that's why there's a demand for that. People want to get back to that. They want to hear the stuff that they remember and associate with the good memories of their youth.
Yes. And that's a really good explanation about, a lot of the cover bands. And it is true because it reminds them of the music they heard when they were younger. And it's true that imprints on us. Even if we still try to discover new music and get into new music, there's something about the music that we listened to when we were younger, just always having that imprint in the formative years of our life. So, well, that's really cool. And so I guess as an artist, as a musician, as an artist, how can creative people uplift or raise the vibration, I guess, of the planet without sounding cheesy? I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, that's a really, really good question. And it is true that there's a lot of dark and terrible things going on in the world today. And it's, sometimes all we can do to not just want to shut down and what can we do? We can only just try to put out positivity. And so for me, for example, like we talk about the evils of social media and how easy it is to spread, misinformation and bad things on social media. Well, one of the things, like I just told you, that I do as part of my daily yoga practice and daily yoga class is I share a spiritual quote every day on my social media. And that's just my way of saying, like, I'm trying to put out positivity into the world, and then musically, I would say, the project that I'm working on right now with Vito, that I've been working on for the last year, and our album is coming out. It's called The Quiet Expanse, or just Quiet Expanse, and it's all music for meditation. There's no vocals. It's just instrumental. There are 10 tracks. Each track has a different name, like they're one word names, like authenticity, compassion, flow, resilience, and so on. And we're just trying to give people something to listen to that is, just you can put on and just kind of immerse yourself in it and be relaxed and just become, So, so that's really all we can do as musicians, is just, put ourselves out there and try to give something positive to the world.
I really like that answer. I really like that. And yeah, Vito, he had mentioned that album that was coming out, Quiet Expanse, that video. And I believe we played a track from it, or we talked about some tracks from it. And it sounds really beautiful, the music.
It's been a wonderful, really, really wonderful experience working with him. He's such a lovely musician, such a lovely person, such a lovely human being. And it's just been so effortless, like just been super collaborative about everything. It's just gone really, really well.
Great. Oh, that's great. So he has a lot of projects, and it sounds like you do also. You have a lot of projects as well. Now, you say you are also a mentor for youth as well, with youth, young musicians. And yeah, so what advice do you have for a young musician in whatever genre they're interested in?
Well, let's see. So mostly right now what I'm doing is mentoring young singer-songwriters.
Okay.
So I'm doing that for the Recording Academy, which is the music academy that produces the Grammys. And I'm also doing mentoring young film composers. We're in a position of transition right now. The industry is in a big transition because of AI. Really uncertain what the future is going to look like. In 10 years from now, our song's going to be all written by using AI. Our film score is going to be done all using AI. Nobody knows. So do the work. You gotta, as Leonard Cohen said, blacken the page. So how do I get good at writing songs? How do I get good at writing novels? How do I get good at, you blacken the page. You got to do it. You just got to keep doing it every day. And eventually, like too many young singer-songwriters, they'll do something, they'll write a song and they'll go, this is not good. I'm getting discouraged. But the thing is, I tell them, you got to write 100 songs. And then after, one or two out of those will be really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you build your craft, keep doing it and it keeps getting better.
Yeah, I really like that. It definitely applies to, like you said, to a lot of different art forms and different things. Honestly, a lot of things that we do. You need practice. Sometimes the first thing we put out, whether it's a written piece, a song, something else we create, even if it's something else somebody's doing, like maybe somebody's creating a new recipe, just totally from scratch. It might not be that very good. Just keep trying
Right.
and keep trying.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's like with anything in life. Thank you so much, by the way, for being on the show. I really appreciate it. I really found this conversation really interesting, and I liked hearing about all your music. And the only other thing I really wanted to ask was more about music. So we had talked a little bit about kirtan and film composing, but you also do jazz as well as some rock and roll as well, correct?
Yeah. I play a lot of different genres. Yeah. I have a new album that's should be coming out soon. It's a jazz album, and it's with a jazz singer who is somewhat legendary. I don't know how familiar you are with jazz names, but she sang with Duke Ellington, and who's a legendary jazz band leader.
Yes.
And she also sang with some other legendary band leaders like Thad Jones. And it's just, we're mixing it now and getting ready to release it. And I'm excited for the world to hear it.
Excited too. That sounds amazing. Again, and thank you for coming on the show. I really enjoyed talking to you and
For inviting me.
Hearing the kirtan. Yes, it was, I really enjoyed it. So as we close out, is there another track that you would like to feature?
I think I'm going to go with something on the meditative side and not the jazz side. So I think I'm going to pick one of the tracks from Quiet Expanse, the album with Vito. The one that I'm going to choose is called Floating Waves.
Features you as well as Vito.
Yeah.
So let's hear that now. This is Floating Waves. well, thank you. That was beautiful. And again, thank you so much, Jim, for being on the show. I really liked our conversation, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, Dawn. A real pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you.